Not every door leads to somewhere you can return from. Some rooms appear completely harmless: a lamp, a table, a cozy armchair by the window. But if you're close enough to notice the details, then you've already gone too far. Because you're no longer a guest. You're the next piece of furniture. SCP-002 is a living organism that takes the form of a room. And like any room, it needs to be filled. It wasn't born on Earth. One moonless autumn night, civilian radar in northern Portugal picked up a small anomaly. An unidentified object falling from orbit. No tail flame, no sonic boom, no impact shock. By the time the investigation team reached the site the next morning, they found a shallow crater, no more than 3 meters deep. And in the center, a massive fleshy mass, reddish-brown, pulsing faintly with thick, vein-like patterns across its surface. It was breathing. A local farmer was the first to approach the object. But after he and several villagers vanished under mysterious circumstances, authorities escalated the report. At the time, the SCP Foundation was still a loosely connected coalition of global task forces. A recovery team led by General Herman Mulhausen was dispatched. Equipped with radiation sensors, armed escorts, and a Level 4 containment unit. They secured the area and began isolating all civilian witnesses. What they didn't know was this wasn't just an extraterrestrial life form. It was a door into itself. From the outside, SCP-002 appears to be a massive, tumor-like lump of flesh. Thick, lumpy, and moist, its surface subtly contracting as though inhaling. It stands nearly 3 meters tall, spans over 6 meters wide, and has an internal volume of roughly 60 cubic meters. Strangely, it has no visible sensory or motor organs. No eyes, no mouth, no limbs. Only a single iron hatch, circular, with a submarine-style handwheel lock. At first, the hatch was sealed shut, but during the initial inspection, it opened on its own. Inside, the research team found a living room. A small space, about 15 square meters, furnished with a table, chairs, a single bed, a desk lamp. There was even a window, letting in a soft ambient light. But no such window existed from the outside. The furnishings appeared ordinary at first, but upon closer analysis, every single item was made of human bone, human hair, human skin, and other biological materials. Each object contained a distinct DNA signature, as though they were once separate individuals. No one leaves this room whole. A part of them stays behind, forever, as a piece of furniture. SCP-002 doesn't attack. It doesn't move, it doesn't emit noise, and it shows no outward signs of hostility. But if someone steps inside, they don't come back out. No scream. No remains, no blood. They simply vanish. And shortly after, a new piece of furniture appears in the room. A lamp, a wooden stool, a bookshelf. No one ever sees the transformation happen. But the outcome is always there. The Foundation has conducted extensive testing, from insects to high-level primates. None triggered any reaction from SCP-002. Even human corpses, no effect. Only living, conscious humans are accepted. Some researchers theorize that SCP-002 possesses a primitive awareness or a highly selective biological mechanism that can detect sapient life. And more troubling, in some cases, people don't choose to enter SCP-002. They're drawn to it, as if something inside is whispering, offering a sense of warmth, familiarity, like a place they once called home. But that warmth is bait, wrapped in the skin of comfort, a room that senses who's ready to come inside and who is ready to stay. Returning to the moment SCP-002 was first discovered, the Foundation, alarmed by low-level radiation readings, launched full containment protocols. A field unit under General Herman Mulhausen was deployed to secure the anomaly. 3 local civilians were selected to make initial contact with the object. Each entered SCP-002. None returned. After the 3rd test, a small wooden table appeared inside the room, followed by a chair. It was then General Mulhausen made a clear determination. This was a life form that converted human beings into objects. A Level 4A. Termination order was issued the same day. Over a third of the local village population was eliminated to preserve secrecy. But SCP-002 didn't stop there. During the relocation process, 4 armed guards vanished within a span of 12 minutes. No one saw them enter. There were no alarms, no sounds. But inside the room, a new armchair had appeared, a bookshelf, and a small rug. Mulhausen ordered all remaining personnel to wear Level 3 hazmat suits. SCP-002 was sealed and moved under maximum security protocols. Weeks later, General Mulhausen was removed from the SCP-002 project. No reason was ever given. His name was redacted from all associated documentation. Only a single line remains in the archive. SCP-002 doesn't resist. It doesn't lash out. It doesn't scream. It doesn't move. And for that reason, it's more dangerous than most anomalies. It's currently housed in a vacuum-sealed containment chamber. The internal atmosphere is kept at negative pressure to minimize any potential biochemical activity. The organism is permanently connected to a high-voltage power source, keeping it in what researchers call a charging state, a condition believed to reduce its internal biological functions. In the event of a power failure, emergency barriers will isolate the chamber, and all personnel within proximity are to evacuate immediately. Once power is restored, alternating ultraviolet and X-ray bursts are projected into the chamber before the object is reconnected to the grid. All research teams must consist of at least 2 members and maintain physical contact with each other at all times during proximity. No one is allowed entry without written authorization from 2 independent Level 4 administrators. Anyone granted access must undergo 72 hours of quarantine and psychological evaluation after exposure. Some cases have shown disturbing after effects, personnel talking to the chair, asking the lamp how it's doing, or sitting for hours on a couch that doesn't exist. It's been over 2 decades since SCP-002 entered Foundation custody. In all that time, it hasn't moved. It hasn't spoken. It hasn't asked for anything. It's just waiting. Waiting for someone to come closer. Someone curious enough. And when that door opens again, it will become just a little more complete. A new painting, a new light fixture, a new chair. The Foundation has done everything to keep it inert. But one question remains unanswered. Why is it here? SCP-002 didn't simply appear. It fell to Earth from orbit, encased in rock, like it was delivered. Some believe it's a biological trap, sent by an unknown intelligence. Others think it's a remnant, the last relic of a civilization long extinct, still longing to be filled. But the most terrifying theory of all comes from within the Foundation itself. We built it. And when we realized what it had become, we cast it out. We launched it into space, like discarded furniture. Now it's back. SCP-002 isn't angry. It isn't vengeful. It's just doing what a room is meant to do. When a guest arrives, it welcomes them. Thank you for joining us in this SCP-002 case file, The Living Room. If you'd like to continue uncovering the world's most chilling anomalies, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what comes next. And if you have a theory about where SCP-002 truly came from, let us know in the comments, because the next file we open might be the one you've been waiting for.